Bill Lucey on their re-election.
Woo!
I was proud to say Mr. President to Jerry when I saw him earlier today, and to thank him and to thank all of you for the hard work you do every single day. I know, because I've seen you at work throughout our country, how much we depend on your indispensable service to the American people. And I am grateful to have had the opportunity to work with you and so many you represent over the years, and particularly during this presidential campaign. It was a remarkable journey, traveling across our country from coast to coast. And through it all, I saw those green shirts, I saw those green signs, and I saw those smiling faces. They were personal welcoming committees. From the very beginning, I counted on you, and you never let me down. You collected signatures, you set up offices, you ran phone banks, you canvassed union households, from the first primaries and caucuses until the very last. You were a relentless force for my campaign in state after state, and not only out front, but behind the scenes as well. And I'm here today to say thank you. Thank you for the support that sustained me, the votes that strengthened my campaign, and your passionate engagement in this election. You stood with me, and I will always stand with you. That is a promise. Thank you all, because I know that here in this hall are advocates and organizers, representatives, people who speak for and stand up for not only your members across America, but also those whom you work for. The people that I have called invisible, people that nobody sees, who deserve a better break. And during this campaign, we talked about what we could do together to try to restore the American promise, to make sure that every single child was given a chance to live up to his or her God-given potential. That's why I was proud to have worked with AFSCME to introduce legislation that will invest in our child care workforce, providing resources to attract and keep people in this critical field, training the workers who care for our children. That's why I've worked with my friends from New York on issues that are near and dear to our hearts. Because I know that without you, so many people would be left behind. It is a pleasure to know that whatever happens, AFSCME is going to be on the front lines fighting. And you're fighting for all the right reasons. For better pay and better working conditions, for health care and pension security. And you've been fighting for the last 8 years against some pretty tough odds. You've seen firsthand what this administration and their allies in the Congress have done to our country and our government. You've seen how they have outsourced critical government functions to private companies, which are often more expensive and certainly less accountable and less competent. The administration motto seems to have been, if it ain't broke, we haven't tried hard enough. And in the course of their leadership of our country, they've broken a lot, haven't they? That's why we have to continue to stand against and fight against privatization of essential government services and hold our government and any private companies to a high standard. You know, when you think about it, it really doesn't make sense. The Bush administration and its ideological allies have led an unyielding, uncompromising, unrelenting campaign against our government. Government that actually works and serves people. They have viewed our government with disdain, even with contempt. And because a government that solves problems is a threat to their ideology, they have tried to create a government can't run a two-car parade. Their whole attitude has been, if you believe in government, just wait until we're through with it. We're going to make sure that you don't ever believe in it again, and we're not going to fund it going forward. That's why we've had to launch these critical fights to prevent important functions from being outsourced. That's why we have fought the cronyism and the corruption and the no-bid contracts. That's why we fought to defend Social Security against privatization. That's why we fought against the President and his Republican allies who wanted to undermine Medicare by taking money away from doctors so they could give it to insurance companies, and that's a fight we just won. That's why we have been fighting day by day against policies that seek to shift the burdens of Medicaid and home heating assistance and child care and economic development aid and so much else out of the backs of state and local governments. It is a narrow, radical ideology, and it's up to all of us to speak out against it and to vote against those who support it. That's why I'm going to work as hard as I can with all of you to ensure that we have a Democratic victory in November. You know, I ran for president because I have an old-fashioned conviction that public service is about helping people, helping them make the most of their own lives, fulfilling their own dreams, equipping them with the tools they need to further the lives of themselves and their children. Now, I don't have to tell you that that's a critical underlying reason why you believe, as I do, that we have to elect more Democrats to the Senate, more Democrats to the House, and Barack Obama as the next president of the United States. Every fight that I have had to endure has been because I know we can do better as a country, and I have stood against those forces who would deny the full potential of America. And so for me, this election is critical because I know what a difference it will make. And I also know Senator Obama. I have served with him now for nearly 4 years in the Senate. I campaigned with him and against him for more than 16 months on the campaign trail, and I have stood on stage with him in 22 debates, but who's counting? I have seen his passion and determination, his grace and his grit. His own life exemplifies the American dream. And just as I was in this race, for all those who did feel invisible, parents choosing between health care for themselves or for their children, workers seeing their jobs shipped overseas, small business owners who can't afford to pay the utilities, and so many who get sick to their stomachs when they pull up to fill up their gas tank. I know the best way we can stand up for you and for everyone who knows we can do better is to make sure we have a Democratic president taking the oath of office on January 20th, 2009.